Hi there.
Hola.
Let me check and make sure these folks can hear us.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear us on Zoom? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Recording.
I'm going to call the meeting to order. It is 6:01, August 12th, Commissioners Meeting. Roll call, please. Mark Johansson's here.
Bob Long's here.
Eric Essing's here.
Okay, thank you. First thing, order of business, want to have a moment of silence for Elijah Comstock, who we lost last week, last Friday or Thursday night. Just a second. Elijah was a worker for us this summer, a neighbor down the road. He was an absolutely splendid young man, and he's gone too soon. And there will be a fundraiser dinner, spaghetti dinner, hosted by the district, Wednesday, August 14th, 5:30 to 7:30 at the Lodge. And it's a fundraiser. Basically, people will be asked to pay, if they want to come to it, just pay whatever they want to pay. All the money will go to his family to help offset costs of his funeral and other things that are going on, okay? Approval of minutes, Commissioners Meeting, March 13th, 2024. The reason this is in here, we didn't have it last month, and we finally resurrected them, so I want to have a call for approval of those minutes.
Motion to approve.
Got a question.
Yes, Bill?
It says April 12th to March 13th, 2023.
You have the wrong one?
That's the one that was on the table.
I don't know if that, I can't see it from here.
Oh, the minutes.
Okay.
Is that one of the,
Top, it says March 13th.
Yeah, it's right here.
But in the body of the minutes, it says manifest, Mark Johnson, that's April 12th to March 13th, 2023.
That was a mistype.
2024.
Yes.
That was 2024. That was a
I
mistype.
think you should make a correction to your minutes.
Okay. I'll amend that as mentioned. Thanks, Bill.
where is it?
Right here. It's 2023. Okay. So amended. Okay, district business.
All right, you got, I made the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll second that.
Second, okay. Motion to amend the minutes as described. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so amended.
Motion to approve. Yeah.
Motion approved. Thank you, Bill. District business, approval of minutes.
Motion to approve.
Said motion approved.
The minutes. You just approved
The motion, okay, okay, we approve the minutes as amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. District of business, approval of manifest from July 9th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve those manifests.
Second.
Okay,
All in
all in
favor?
favor?
Aye.
Okay. Review of district financial reports and water collection report.
We do not have the financial reports, again, due to the problems that we've had with the Sage and some internal problems with the whole computer system. So we're hoping to have that up by next month and ready. But the financials are, to date, we're in good shape. We've got plenty of cash flow, and it's more than 50% of the cash flow is still there. So we're in good shape with it, but it's just unfortunate. We just can't get them printed out and get them accurate. But we're working on it.
Any comments on the water collection report? Thanks, Bob. All set? Okay. Okay, now we're going to discuss enforcement of vehicles that do not display passes at the beach and pool areas. Some people,
Eric has done some work on that. If you want.
Eric, gonna
Oh,
handle that?
yeah. Just from certain individuals' inputs, questions throughout the summer regarding the recreation parking here at the beaches. It's not often that we have an unruly person or someone unwilling to cooperate with our temporary, parking permits. But the question is, if things were to escalate, should we take to a next step of towing or some other type of enforcing with the police? So it's just kind of looking ahead if we continue to get more and more people parking here to ensure that the proper people are parking here and anyone who's not properly, supposed to be here somehow gets the boot.
Anybody, Bob, Jim?
The only thing, Eric, what you're gonna do is talk with the police about it. I know you talked with the towing company, but we need to talk with the police and ask what the process would be to,
On their end. Yeah.
from their end, yeah.
Okay.
What about enforcement of that after hours?
Well, that's kind of the question. In a way, it's a question only because nobody's here. It's in authority after
Sure.
hours.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult, I would think, to enforce that.
First things first, I would say we should start with
Yeah.
during hours, and then if we establish some kind of method to do that enforcement, yeah, we could look into what would.
So hypothetically speaking, if I see 3 cars here at this time tonight that don't belong here, I should be calling one of you guys?
But we
I
haven't,
think what we need to do is have Eric talk with the police and ask what the process is with them, and then we'll take it up the next meeting.
Yeah, it's more of a law enforcement or some other kind of policy that would be in place. Go ahead, Bill.
Would it be worthwhile for us to take a picture of a plate and turn it into the commissioner as an incident report?
Yeah, that's, as an incident report, I think that's a nice thing to do for
Wouldn't see a
us to help
problem.
us. Yeah, especially if there's a routine or, regular, offender of this, we'd want to know about that.
Okay.
Randy?
I don't know what the rules are, I'm sure you spoke to the towing company, but in Massachusetts, in an office complex, people have passes on their windows, just like we have.
Mhm.
And if you were to give a contract to a towing company, visits, they have the right to come in after hours, sticker's not there, vehicle goes.
that's what we're gonna clear up. Eric will talk to the police and what they can do.
You said you did talk to them.
I talked to one company so far, but I want to talk to at least a few, and just get the input of what's possible up in this. We're a limited population, so I don't even know if this was a city versus, up here in Mountain Lakes, how many tow companies there are that would be willing to come by at this time. So I'm just trying to explore what's possible, and then at the same time, I'll talk to the police and see what's, legal as well. But
Anything,
I agree with you on the point that if we were to get a contract, that's a good way to have them just regularly check.
And they like it because that's how they generate revenue.
Exactly. Right.
anything we come across and decide to do, of course, will be a published policy. Yes,
Yeah.
Mike?
Eric, can you write, and ask the chief about people fishing here that don't belong in here?
All right, that's not a issue that we're covering on this now. The police, we've just got to get the rules from them. That's a whole nother issue, Mike, and if you want to bring that up in another time, that's fine. But it's, this is
I'll focus on the
we've got to
thing
be
with this.
careful.
Yeah.
We've got to be careful with this, and this is why I want to talk with the police and get a thing. Because to do what Randy's suggesting that happens down in Massachusetts, if you've got somebody that comes down here at night inadvertently, isn't aware of it, and they're renting from an Airbnb, or they're visiting somebody, and we have their car towed, we've just got to be really.
Yeah, there's a liability to this all too. That's what one of the companies.
Let's get the, what the police say, and then take it from there.
So we don't have a mandate right now that states Airbnbs need to, make people that are renting aware of the Mountain Lakes policies. I know that isn't in effect right now, but shouldn't all Airbnbs be subject to providing and making sure that the renters are aware of Mountain Lakes policies?
One of the things I've been creating in the background and just hasn't been fully developed yet is kind of like a little handout that we could, if we know someone, we could even just, my goal is to post it on the website, here's what you can provide to your Airbnb guests or any guests of rentals. Here's what you can provide to them so that they are aware of what's going on with Mountain Lakes and our rules. So something like that should come up at some point.
We've already got something in place that went out to the whole district, and the Airbnbs have to, the people can't come in here and get a pass. They have to show a contract, whether it's on their phone or legitimate, but they're not giving out passes unless that happens.
That's true too, yeah.
So it's something that we do have that covered. But what I was talking about, if somebody comes in at 4 o'clock at night, that's usually when check-in is time on an Airbnb, and they come down and park here, and we tow them out of here. I think we've got to be really conscious of that. And
This was just more of an exploratory conversation as is, so I can look into it further, especially starting with the police and go from their advisory first and then talk to a few more companies, and next meeting we'll follow back up. Yeah, for sure.
I have an Airbnb. When I'm not here, we have guests. I'll have guests this weekend. I'll be staying with my parents this weekend, so we have guests. But my guests are instructed they need to, well, I send an email here first, letting the admin know that I have guests that are gonna be here and they need to use the lake. And they're instructed that if they're gonna use the lake, they need to come down here with their driver's license and their rental contract and present that for their temporary guest pass. That's the process, I understand it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay,
and that's been happening since we implemented this.
understood.
It would also be good, having worked the office with pool passes, if you gave them a copy of that email and they would come in with that. That would be great. It would basically give a paper trail so we know that you sent them and you gave them that authorization to come down here. Because some people have come in also asking for pool passes. And I'm not going to give it to them because that would be coming from you. You'd have to get pool passes if you wanted to give it to them.
Yeah, I hang my full pass.
That's fine. That's cool. But if they come down looking for a parking pass, that'd be really helpful if you had that email, give them a copy of it. That'd be
Most
perfect.
people come in with their phone and just
Yep.
show it.
The contract, yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
great. Okay, nothing on that. So, we're gonna investigate and we'll probably have some answers next week. I mean, next month, the next meeting. Somebody coming in? What?
Waiting room. We
Waiting
got
room?
3 people.
Susan was watching that.
How do you click on them
It just says admit.
at all? They're all joining.
We good?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
now.
you still got someone in the waiting. Oh, yeah, they get in.
Okay, recent bacterial levels on the south upper lake. We had a 1-day bloom and we don't know what caused it. It could have been just the influx of all the rain we've had through Waterman Brook. Could have been an influx of geese laying in one spot and leaving some debris, but it passed in 1 day. And thanks, Dottie, by the way, you still, for going down to Concord to bring that report down on Friday. That was great. And we got the report back Saturday morning. We were clear to go. Anything else you want to mention on that?
I just put up a thing
Okay.
there for, can you take off that large piece on the side there?
Take off what?
Is that from the VLAP testing?
No, I'll do that in a second. I'll do it in a
It's
second.
weekly.
You want this to go away? It's not highlighted.
There you go. Okay, go ahead.
These are the samples that we've taken this year so far. And if you look down in the bottom there, it gives you the state of New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services, their requirements. And if you look at the samples there, we fall within the guidelines of what we should be doing. There hasn't been any, there was one, higher hit, but 158 is the number that we look at. And then if we have anything over 158, then we have a concern. If you look in the thing that I sent out the other day from the United States EPA, their numbers are at 235 before it's required to do anything. 230, anything above 235. And we're looking at 158 is the number that we would do anything. And when we talked with the state, even when we had the 248 number, the person from the state said, that's not going to bother anybody to swim in that. And we have the jurisdiction over that. The state, these rules down here on the bottom there, the state, for the beaches that they own, that's the rules that they follow. So it's something, we monitor it, we look at it, and when I saw that 248, I knew it was an anomaly. And, could something like, as Mark said, could something have just happened there or whatever? But, the numbers look good, and there's no issues with the lake. And once we get that second thing, we pull those things down, open up the beach right up. To go from 248 to 65, that's just incredible.
To answer your questions, Randy, thanks, Bob, about the VLAP, this had nothing to do with the VLAP test, even though they would probably pick this up on their test, but we had to postpone the VLAP report by 1 week because the state rep couldn't meet us the day that she had agreed to meet us. So we did it last Wednesday. And they'll get E. coli reports and all kinds of reports off of that. But that will probably not affect this because we took them well far away from everywhere except on the corner of the beach. And I believe the report that we did was before we had the rain that night, which may have caused the problem we had the next day.
Was that where the sample was taken at the corner?
At the corner of this beach here and at the corner of this beach down here. Where
But he's talking about VLAP now.
VLAP,
He's talking about this.
The testing that you had the bad sample from.
Yeah.
Eye sample.
Mhm.
Where was that?
That was taken right in the middle of the beach over here.
About
That's who we are.
about 2 feet out.
Yeah.
John goes about 2 feet out, grabs a sample, so there's a little bit of water content, and then collects the water and we send it down to Concord.
I'm sure you're aware we had reported what we thought was 2.5 weeks ago. To the district. Pretty bad, so it's the center there. Just concerned that hoping with future problems, is there anything we can do to help to mitigate those issues?
John checked with the state on those plumes out there, and he said, that's a natural phenomenon. It's all weather dependent. And that particular plume, the two maintenance assistants went out there and pulled all that stuff out of the water and got rid of it. So because it was, people were concerned about it being out there, and so they did take care of that. But it's a natural dependent on the weather, dependent on a multitude of different things. You're going to get that stuff.
Well, we'll keep monitoring that, certainly as people make us aware of it around the lakes. If they see stuff, we'll go out and check it out.
Yeah, there's a lot of new things that have come out of the process. They have tablets that they put in.
Mm-hmm.
If you recall, I was looking into that, and the state has, and I sent them the information on it, what I read, and they still haven't got back to me, and I got to follow up with them. But the tablets, there's different readings on those. You read the label on it, and it tells you the best thing that ever came about. But there are some concerns with the tablets, and I think the state's kind of. But yeah, they say they do work extremely well. But the area that we were talking about, I think people have been swimming in that, and it's just they're not there anymore in the swim area. So,
Okay, that's it.
is there any other questions on the information on there?
Back to here.
Anybody on Zoom, questions? No, okay. We had also, last month, Randy, you asked about extended pool hours for the, maybe through September. Maybe we should discuss that now.
Yeah, let him give his.
Did you want to comment on that at all?
Well, just, we had talked about it in the special meeting that you had, and I know you had two concerns at the time. One was the budget. The other was whether or not we had the maintenance superintendent enough time for him to be able to handle that. Last 2 summers in September, according to the National Weather Service, we had over 5 days that were 85 and above. And so, I just thought it would be nice, I personally don't use the pool, but I'm sure people would like to come home from work and be able to use it. I was hoping that you would find a way to make that happen.
First of all, do we have any in memory on your part what the monthly costs are to run the pool with the heater and everything?
I don't know it off the top of
We
my
have to wait. John's away this week. We can ask him early next week what the cost might be.
And the bottom line, it's, in my perspective, it's not as much the cost as it is the time that it takes John to do that.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't, we're not gonna have help, and we've just lost Elijah, who was gonna be, that was gonna stay on and be available to do that kind of stuff. So it's just, you know, I would make a compromise on that, and I'd say, you know, keep it open until the end of August, and we can get somebody to cover the morning so John doesn't have to do it. But he's still gonna have to go up twice a week, get the testing done and stuff like that, so, and
Yeah, we are going to lose all of our high school help for him end of this month. That which will make a difference in what we can do.
So my
right,
understanding is
she's
Just a second, Randy. I know that. Okay.
Okay, some input is that, at our recreation meeting and stuff like that, the ladies have really enjoyed the morning water aerobics and stuff. I talked about it with John, because John approached me and asked me if I had heard about possibly, you know, people wanting to keep the pool open for the month of September. And, I know that we won't have the summer help, but John says if it is done, he asked for me to work with him. I do the closings now of the pool, which I don't mind. And he's teaching me the openings so that if he can't make it, then I go down and I would clean the pool early in the morning and do what he would normally do in the mornings. So him and I have discussed it. He didn't seem to have a problem with it as long as he had somebody to help with the other part of it. But other than that, I mean, I wanted to throw the input that John and I talked, and that we talked a little bit about it at the rec meeting. The ladies will, you know.
you and I and John had an entirely different discussion on that, because John is not a fan of keeping that open, because he knows he's got so much stuff to do with the water.
Yeah, that was right after I was asked to help out with
Yeah.
Okay.
things for now until it was closed down. So, I mean, that was just a conversation we had.
So we'll have a discussion with John when he gets back from his vacation to see what his late summer, early fall schedule looks like. He's got a lot on
We
it.
we can figure this out tonight.
Okay.
I just wanted to put
We've
the
got
input.
we've got enough information here to figure this out tonight.
Okay, then let's figure it out now then.
if I'm somebody needs to drive it to Littleton for a sample test, I'm happy to do it. I'm gonna be here from.
Do we do that sample daily or
What's that?
do we do that sample daily?
Twice a week.
There's no way to do that sample now.
No, the state mandated now. Last year, we had to actually register with the state, and the pool company is our registered agent with the state to take care of the pool, so they're responsible for that. We had looked into the possibility of getting the type of equipment to do the testing that they do. We do the strip testing and stuff like that, but there's as much more detailed, and it gives you so much more information and more accurate information. And the cost of doing that was prohibitive. So that's where we stand now. They're our agents, so we have to take it up there. And it's typically 2 times a week, unless we're gonna get a high hit on something, then we'll have to go back, put the chemicals in, go back the next day and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, Eric, any input on this?
I don't want to put more on John's plate, but at the same time, I like the idea of having the amenities available. I don't know if, something like we could just, if we want to move things forward at all, like is halfway through the month of September and then re-review it, see how the weather's looking, or do we not want to push that far?
I wouldn't push it that far. I'd make a recommendation, we go to the end of August. That's an additional 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks over what we've budgeted for. And to heat that pool in September is going to be a monumental task. It's going to cost a lot of dollars to do that. And I just don't see the benefit. I don't think it's going to get that much usage in the month of September.
So Labor Day is,
If we want to do that next year, fine. We got to put it in the budget. Budget time is when we should be making these types of decisions, not on the fly at towards the end of the year.
But we also knew that we were gonna have key cards for the pool too, so we should have had that thought. Now that this question's coming up.
I don't recall it being brought up at any of the budget meetings, and I was there.
But it should have been.
Hindsight's 2020.
It is.
Yeah.
okay, so then why don't we maybe look at holding it open until Labor Day, September 2nd?
I think that's a good compromise.
Does that sound agreeable?
I think
Because we've always closed before that, I know. And,
we'll look into it for next year. We can,
yeah, we'll discuss it in more detail next year, depending on how this year goes in general. I move that we move to have the pool open until September 2nd.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Fine.
You have any discussion in between that?
You can. What would you like to talk about?
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Courtney, but I thought the.
You address the board.
Talk to us.
Oh, okay. So at the rec meeting the other day, I believe that the rec committee was going to make a recommendation to the commissioners to keep it open until the end of September.
Okay. Well,
I think that should play a little bit of weight before you guys make your decision.
Courtney,
God had your hand up.
one second.
Let me know.
Okay, go ahead, keep going.
As Bob said earlier, I think he said, we're in good shape, we have plenty of money.
It's manpower. It's manpower, Mike, as much as anything else. It's manpower.
But
it is money too.
it is.
It is money. Dottie, you got a hand up?
I don't think we said,
I don't,
that, I did not suggest.
I don't think anyone did. I think what we were gonna recommend was closing the pool at 9.
At 9, okay, the
I know
only
that.
recommendation that was voted on for the at the rec meeting was the recommendation to bring it up, to close the pool at 9 instead of 10 o'clock.
Mhm.
We discussed.
Different issue, and we can
Different-
talk about that at,
Yeah, no,
I know.
I'm
yeah.
just saying the recommendation.
Okay,
The other thing was not a recommendation, it was asked to be brought up about discussing keeping the pool open through September.
okay. Well, we made a decision. We're gonna keep the pool open until September 2nd, Labor Day.
They're asking, see if there's any other discussion.
Okay. Any other discussions
Susan,
out there in Zoom world?
Susan, click accept.
There's no
Just minimize that blue screen.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry.
minimize it.
Yeah. Okay.
She was just there. Patricia Brady.
And where do you click?
Okay.
Nobody's there, nobody's asking. Another thing that did come up from that meeting, we were made aware of, is that there was also a request that we change the hours of the pool opening because of the weather getting so much more chilly as summer moves on, and also it's not being used. I've checked my
I have a
phone.
point about it here.
Sure.
That's something that there is coming from the recreation as a thing that was already mentioned, so we should let them.
Okay, I'll let you, when we get to that
When we
point
get
at
to the
the meeting,
recreation.
we'll do that, fine, okay. And let's see now, okay, maintenance update.
I don't have any written update. I can tell you that the pool has taken a lot of time from John and the maintenance guys. They've spent a lot of time on that this year, and just the upkeep. And I think the place looks great. They've been working on the swing set over there, and we're hoping to have that done this week. Eddie Page has got to come in and put the pea stone in there. They've cleaned up and painted the pump house. They've cleaned up some of the areas at the maintenance areas in the lodge. If anybody's got any other questions, specific questions on maintenance items, Randy?
So I've noticed that the basketball court, I guess that's what we call that up there, the basketball court, is got tremendous weeds growing through it. It's cracked, it's in really bad shape. The tennis court has got a lot of mold on it and a lot of leaves all around the edging of it and weeds growing in towards the very bottom. And I'd like to try to spend some more time, if we could, to maintain those things so that we're not having to have a major capital expenditure to replace them. I know there was discussion about resurfacing the tennis court, but the tennis court doesn't need to be resurfaced, it just needs to be cleaned.
I'm not sure who mentioned resurfacing the tennis. They talked about, when you talk about resurfacing, what they do is there's that green tinge on there, and then they paint it. That's what they're talking about for resurfacing, and that's going to be scheduled for next year to have that done. As far as the basketball courts, that is beyond what we can do that one's going to have to, we'll do some repairs on it, fill some in the gaps and the cracks and stuff. But the long term, that one's going to have to be replaced or a skim coat over it, something. But that John is looking at both of those, though there is on his radar.
Probably both of me are looking at next year if we do anything. Certainly,
Yeah,
certainly on the tennis courts, that's been talked about.
Yeah, he's scheduling that with
Yeah.
them for next year.
Yeah, maybe we could just include in his repertoire of things to do is to blow that off once or twice a week and make it a little more presentable. It just, I think, with a little bit of maintenance, I think will.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
Anybody from Zoom? Okay.
Is that your maintenance update?
That's it, yep.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Water committee update?
Okay, the water committee met on August 1st. I was not present at the meeting. Mark Johansson chaired the meeting. Those present were Mark Johansson, John Mitchell, Helen Heathman, and Christine Dunster through Zoom. And Bob Long was present as a public. The minutes of the July 3rd meeting were approved. The water system update was given by John, by John. The water usage for the month of July, the totals were 1,196,247. The average was 38,588. The high was 59,145. The low was 30,284. Now, of course, this is July, and this is a higher than normal because of the more numbers of people that come to the district. The Woodsville Water and Light number was 394,294, representing 32.08%. The Bedrock well was 90,203, representing 7.33%. The infiltration well was 744,787, representing 60.59. Accounted for was 97%, 97.31%, unaccounted 2.69%. As Mark had said earlier, the VLAP test was scheduled for the 31st. It was rescheduled for August 7th. The Water Appreciation Day was discussed, which was held on July 20th. It was not very successful. No one showed up. So a vote was taken so that we would not hold it for the next 2 to 3 years. Mark asked John Mitchell if there was anything to report from the lead testing to be done by residents. He said there was no update and the state website had been down for more than it was working. He has notified the state. The residents of the Bath community that use the Mountain Lakes water have lodged a complaint that the formula is not, that the formula is faulty. Their representative was to attend the meeting but did not show. It was agreed that we know that the New York State PUC,
New Hampshire State,
sorry,
New Hampshire State.
what did I say, New Jersey?
New
Okay. New Jersey, I would understood, yeah.
Yeah,
Hard to take me out of this.
it is.
New Hampshire State PUC, that any question should be addressed to them directly, because we do not have anything to do with the formula. The next meeting is scheduled for September 5th at 8 a.m. The meeting was adjourned at 8:47. Any questions?
Mr. Representative for the Bath.
What's his name? The guy who contacted us?
Robert Duquette. That's something we'll continue to work with them. I have reviewed what we did last year with the, we went by the PUC guidelines, and so I'm not sure.
Do we charge the same amount to them as?
No, because there's a difference in, they don't pay taxes into here. So if they just paid their water bill, that doesn't cover the expenses that we have to implement the water or all the services and stuff. So that's a part of this whole PUC thing. And it's an unbelievable thing where they get into it, where they look at tax rates and home valuations, and we take a percentage of each one of the line items that impact that and put it towards it.
So as of right now, they don't pay $700 like we do?
They pay more than $700. They paid $899 it was this year.
Now, the residents that, I don't want to jump off subject, but you can probably answer it real quick. The residents that live in Bath, do they pay an extra amenities tax if they want to use our facilities?
Correct, that's
Yes.
$200 annually if they want to use them, yeah.
If I may, this question has come up for years. And perhaps at the next meeting, we could have the formula here so that people can see what it looks like. I mean, it's 2.5 pages long. And
It's complicated.
it's a complicated formula.
But once again, that was all produced by the PUC, Public Utilities Commission. So any questions, we have to be given to them.
Just my only other question was when Mountain Lakes was developed and all those water lines were put in. Those water lines were put in on Bath land, so. Is that looking?
That was a part of the community. That was a part of the town and country community that they put together. And Bath was a part of it. So that's why the water lines went in there.
Bath actually signed up with that? I didn't think there was.
I wasn't here then.
No, neither was
Yeah,
There's a couple that are out here that have been here that long.
yeah.
The last meter.
Yeah.
Bill, you might have something to add to that.
When the lines were put in by Country Mountain Springs Water Company, just a little background, they, Mary Tabor, never had an SBA loan, but never made a payment. And that's when the district got involved and went to the SBA to buy the Mountain Springs Water Company. So that's how it came under the control of the district. And they paid what the outstanding balance was on that loan. But it was never paid.
That's the paperwork I had.
And I can remember receiving a bill in 1970, maybe I'll say 1980, of $800. Then
For water?
for water. Yeah, she was increasing it from 200 to 800. And that's what pushed the district to go pursue with the attorneys the district attorney to turn around and buy it from the SBA.
Right.
Authorization from the district commissioners at that time to do it. And we did buy it for $250,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put in our tax bill, and then, like Bob said, it's a whole quagmire, how to turn around and pay for the pipes, pay for this, make it equitable. Remember, there was only 75 houses back then,
Yeah.
you know, so it was very involved.
Yeah.
Very.
But the bottom line to your question is I got to assume that it's Town and Country put this together. It was all, I've looked at the original maps and stuff like that, and it's Bath was a part of the community, but they're still part of another municipality. So that's why there's different rules on what we can do and what we can't do. But thanks, Ed.
Ed. Thank you. Okay, thanks, Bill, for the filling in the background. Anybody else up there? Okay, that's it for the Water Committee. Planning Board, please?
Next meeting is August 21st at 6:15 PM. We also have a public hearing concerning, during that meeting concerning a private road, building off of a private road. Everything has been done for that. The agenda has been sent to the Esposito and the planning board to, see if I need to add anything else to the agenda. As of right now, we have 26 open projects. I've got 2 more homes and 2 more sheds on the agenda for next week. I also have 2 more homes, still waiting to complete paperwork, whether they not do an expedited meeting or they will be on September's meeting list.
By completing paperwork, you mean they want to build, or they're in the
Yes,
middle?
they have built.
Okay.
I already have some of the paperwork, but I don't, they haven't, some of the stuff still hasn't been turned in to me
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
So, yes. Questions?
The questions of signs in the district come under planning board, or?
I was just going to bring that up if she didn't. And
And I do have
There
that
is-
new business on the agenda to discuss that at the planning board meeting, but if you wanna,
let's
I have it. I
talk
don't,
about it now.
talk about now, yeah. Right.
section 508 of the zoning ordinance, page 20. Temporary signs are allowed to be put up in Mountain Lakes District. As long as they pay the fee and fill out the signage the temporary signage permit application, that they have not had one application within the prior 3 months. As long as they haven't had one, then they can go ahead and be approved. I have approved them, they pay their fee. I make copies of that fee, I keep it with the application in the office, available to Ms. Susan if anybody has any questions. I keep the dates on there, I follow up the day before, because they are allowed to keep the signs up for up to 3 months, 2-week periods. If they are done, then they get their fee back after they have removed the sign from the property. This has been going on. I did some research in previous minutes all the way back to 2019. And so I
thought it was 2023 when that change was made.
that changed to $25, but I found in one of the planning board meetings back in 2019 that the fee was actually $2 originally and then was raised to $5.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
So, so I went back and looked at previous minutes from previous years to kind of get a backstory on when all this was started for the signage. Because that's been questioned as far as, has this been going on? Why has nobody heard about it? Things
Okay,
like that.
but bottom line, the reason Randy's asking the question, there has been a lot of questions, people calling the office, emailing the office and asking about this. And the thing is, we've got it on the agenda for the planning board at the next thing because we're going to come back with some different recommendations and probably different pricing. And if they want to put these signs out there, they can go 2 weeks at a time for 3 months.
Yeah.
No, yeah, can I just clarify, because I think it was stated a little improperly there. It says temporary signs may be displayed for no more than 14 days in any 3-month period.
That's what I thought.
So meaning
Can you read that again?
temporary signs may be displayed for no more than 14 days in any, so 3 weeks or 2 weeks in any 3 months. So if I put it up a sign for 1 week, within the next 3 months, I only have 1 more week to put up a sign, basically, something like that. So
Okay.
2 weeks total.
Gotcha.
If,
What have, yeah,
if it's month 4, they get 2 more weeks.
That's, yeah. So bottom line, we're gonna make,
I just read it, that's all.
No worries, yeah.
we're gonna take a close look at it, make some recommendations in increasing the cost and make it an actual cost, not just returning the money. If they want to put the
Yeah.
signs up there, we're probably going to increase the cost, make the recommendation to increase the cost and make an actual cost to them. But that's something we'll talk at the next planning board meeting and bring it up at the next commissioners meeting.
Okay. Anything else on planning board?
Sir, unless
Okay.
anybody has any questions.
Any questions, Zoom world?
They also had an open house, didn't you? Unfortunately, same similar situation.
Oh, the one on French Pond.
Let's have one
No,
conversation here.
the meet and greet he's
Oh,
referring
yeah,
to.
we did have, thank you, Randy. We did have a planning board meet and greet last Saturday, from 10 to noon, and nobody showed.
Okay. Thanks, Courtney. Recreation Committee update?
Just one question.
Yes, Bill?
Do you ever get real estate agents to come to those meet and greet?
We did 2 years ago when the last one was held.
Okay.
I know information was put out about it, but, originally it was gonna be scheduled for 10 to 2, but we shortened it to 10 to 12. And, I got here about 9:30 and nobody.
Okay,
But information was put
okay,
out about it.
thank you. Rec Committee?
Rec committee. Well, first things we started creating an agenda to help with our meetings a little bit better and hopefully run a little smoother as far as going over events. The evening, the first thing is that we had, August 3rd, we had the adult pool party, which had an okay turnout. I mean, it was fun. We had, a few people. We kind of closed up shop. I think it was probably about 9:30 because it was just getting a little dark and not very many people were left. And then we had the evening on the lake on August 9th. That actually, no, I take that back. Sherry and I had talked and we actually scheduled it for Saturday. So we had it Saturday evening and we had a pretty decent turnout. A lot of Mountain Lakes District people were here. And yes, people did. We guided them over to the boat washing station. If we had asked them if their boats or canoes or kayaks or anything had not been used in our lakes before, please wash them. And they were great about it. We did s'mores. We hung out, had a really good time, and people were still there actually even after 9 o'clock. So that was a really good turnout. We had a good time. This Saturday, we have game day, which I have a flyer I need to email over to Eric. He's gonna make the post on Facebook about it. Game day is gonna be held over at the lodge, weather permitting, from 4 to 6 p.m. We actually are going to have archery tag from a facility ran out of Bradford. It's called Running Water Recreation Center, and he hosts a whole bunch of things, like he'll do kids' birthday parties and such. But we are actually having an archery tag, teams up to 5 can be on each side, and then you guys play. Sign-up sheets have been down in the snack bar. If anybody wants to sign up, it's $5 per team. We're also gonna have wiffle ball, and we're gonna do hot dogs, chips, lemonade, water, cornhole, so that way we have a couple of different games going on outside of people waiting for their turn to play archery tag, so have a little fun while we're out there. Like I said, weather permitting, so I know that we're supposed to possibly get rain this weekend, so.
Do you have an alternative rain date?
Did we didn't do an alternative rain date, did we?
He said he would, do it unless it's thunder and lightning. Like, he
If
would
it's
like
like
to set it up.
Misting or sprinkling,
Yeah.
possibly still do it, but if it's pouring, then probably not. where we have a thunderstorm. So, I mean, I'm monitoring. Dottie has been great. She's the one that's been communicating with him and everything like that. So I guess if we just stay in contact with him and then we'll know for sure. And we could talk to him about a potential makeup date
Okay.
for weather permitting. So
Okay.
we have that this Saturday. And then, the only other thing that we have, this month, of course, is, fireworks on August 31st. We are doing ice cream again from 7:30 to 8:30, right here on the porch of the district office again, like we did last year. We had a great turnout for that, and a lot of people seem to like it. And then fireworks, of course, will be after dark, because there's no specific time, it's just when to start them up. Cleanup is in September 1st at 9 AM. We would love and appreciate anybody and everybody that can come to the beaches and kind of help clean them up after the day after fireworks.
Yep.
And Eric is not going to be serving ice cream at this thing, is that right?
I can't.
Eric is gonna be here helping.
Friendlies was my first job. I'm good at it.
Yeah, but I heard you were giving away too much for last
Oh,
time.
yeah, well.
You were giving away a lot
I'll
here.
buy more, I think.
Okay, but it was much appreciated.
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing, and of course, to keep up mentioning, game nights for the games here originally was to 6 PM, and it's been Thursday nights at 6 PM here at the district office, Mahjong. Any game that anybody wants to play, they're more than welcome to come down and play games for that night.
I'll just continue on with some of the rec real quick. We also bought an ice machine for downstairs at the snack shop. We're waiting on a licensed plumber to come in and connect the water lines and everything, but the goal was to be selling ice at some point, if not this summer, by next summer, but hopefully for the rest of the summer this time around too. We also got a ping pong table outside, just a small one that was indoor, outdoor. We got a good deal on it, just to satisfy the need for some ping pong this year since our table last year wore out. And then the last thing, the rec committee was going to, I think now's the time to, suggest that we close the pool at 9 instead of 10. That was,
Oh, yes, and we did make a motion at the rec committee, and was seconded to close the pool at 9 instead of 10 o'clock at night. We have not had any, I've been doing the closings, and I'm down there at 9:45 at least, and there's not been anybody at the pool. And
I've been
so-
checking my phone as well, and I don't see anybody after 8:30.
yeah,
ever.
it's mainly a darkness. It's a
and whatnot
darkness.
That, people are just not coming down, so,
So
I would like us to change the pool closings to 9 o'clock. Committee has made the motion to make the recommendation that the commissioners.
You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to change the time to 9 PM to close it for the rest of this summer, and we can review again next year.
Yes, it's been brought to my attention possibly.
All right, I'll second it. No discussion.
Okay, now discussion, any more discussion on it?
No, just to make it a motion or to make it a recommendation that it be
Yeah.
brought up to close it at 9 o'clock next summer instead of 10.
But the whole time.
From previous reports of people, just,
Okay.
there wasn't very
Okay.
many people
All
between
right,
9
you're
and
making
10.
the motion, you made the motion to close it at
9.
At 9.
9.
Yeah.
Mhm.
From
This year, yes.
here on.
Okay,
It's,
Yep.
Oh, just from here on?
yep,
yeah.
you can do that.
Okay, so motion's been made, it's been seconded, all in favor?
All right.
All right.
Okay, 9 PM it will be.
And when do you think the system will be ready for the 9 o'clock change?
I can probably do it tomorrow. I
Okay.
mean, it
So I'll
depends.
go down to 10
I think I
tonight
probably
and then
can, yeah,
starting at 9
yeah.
o'clock tomorrow. Okay,
Okay.
that's what I just needed to know.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else from rec? Randy?
Couple questions, the ice machine, are you gonna be selling prepackaged ice, so somebody's gonna come in and fill that up? Or are you gonna package your own ice?
It would be packaged.
Yeah.
It would be packaging it.
Do you need a health permit for that? That's usually required for a health permit. Water can be contaminated, and there's gonna be a lot of involvement in making sure your water is clear, clean, and tested so that you can sell to the public. So I would caution you about that. And then the second question I have is,
Let's stand up for a second, Randy. So you're saying that we should go to the health department in New Hampshire we could go to the local because they get a health department in Haverhill.
be sure.
because the water that we're using is water that we test on a regular basis and stuff, so it's. And
It'll be
if,
fine.
yeah.
I'm just saying, I think we should be making sure we're doing the right thing
Yeah.
for, you know?
Yeah.
And the second question I had was, the ping pong table. It's a temporary thing for this year, I assume.
It's definitely a temporary solution. It's not gonna last forever.
I know we have a ping pong table, or had a ping pong table down at the lodge.
Yes.
It's inside. Is that also in bad shape?
I don't think it's there anymore, is it?
They were playing
Is it
with it
still-
recently.
Yeah, it sounds downstairs.
I wouldn't say it's
That was- that
that's a
was fine.
shape, but it's not an outdoor table at all.
Neither was the one we took down.
I don't even remember the last one. Yeah.
We still have it. It was discussed to consider in your budget for next year, something more permanent,
Mhm.
something long lasting,
Mhm.
you know, maybe a stone. type.
Yeah, there's a nice one I saw. Yeah.
So you could maybe give thought to that and budget that. But it might be a little bit more than we want to spend.
Oh, man, they're expensive.
Yeah. No, I mean, I looked at like really nice, like outdoor ones, just $2 to $3 grand, and that's not even the stone ones. The stone ones would be
Stone ones.
beautiful and would look awesome here. It's just a matter of if we get the will to, and the backing to do that.
It fits in nicely with our stone bench.
Sure.
All right, Courtney?
I just know that the previous ping pong table was actually made by our previous facilities guy, Dawn. That's how that one came about. So-
Okay. Well, once again, during the budgeting process this fall, rec committee will have a specific date that their requests will be, asked for, put in for suggestions of the budget. So I would suggest that the rec committee have that ready to go when budget season comes around, just late November, December, okay?
November, December.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mark that down.
Okay. Okay. If that's it on rec committee,
Patty, do you have anything else?
I know somebody on the granite quarry.
Yeah, I know a couple people up there, but maybe we can talk to them too about pieces of granite for.
have at it.
You can do that for us?
Do it. Yeah.
Okay, commissioners' action items, are there anything in there? Okay, no action items. Old business. Okay, old business, district property sales, that'd be Bob and Eric. Who wants to go first?
I can just comment on my side.
Go ahead.
Previously labeled beach that we want to auction off. We're in a little bit of a snag with the legal language. We have to do a lot of background check before we can auction or sell it in any way.
I did speak with the attorney today.
Today. Oh, okay.
And what we need to do, because this guy is not a municipal attorney.
Okay.
And I don't think he understands
Yeah.
municipal
Okay.
law. And I'm gonna talk with Christine about it.
Okay.
And get it, because she's the one that told us if we wanted to sell it,
Yeah.
this is what we had to do. And we do have the authority over the land, because this guy's saying we need to go to the town
Yeah.
and get it straightened out. But we're a municipality, we own the land. It's got nothing to do with the town.
Okay.
And so that's something that we're gonna go back
It's
to.
possible we've been getting not the best advice from an attorney then, and we have to turn to Christine
And
but this was free
this was
advice
free,
anyway. This
yeah,
was
from-
free,
from him.
so we weren't spending any money.
He's the attorney for J and J
Yeah.
auctions.
He's been kind of delaying it, saying we needed to prove that nothing else was deeded to that beach and so on. If you talk to him again today and we go with Christine going forward, just to make sure. Go with her for.
What I need is an opinion from Christine.
Yeah, opinion.
On what he's got to do, because he's doing the work for them, and that's a concern of his, so we just got to get him over that.
Yeah,
that hump.
right.
So, and I'll take care of that with talking with Christine.
Okay, if you don't mind CCing me on that, just so I can keep an eye on it as well.
Do we hold a clear title of that land ourselves? And
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we're good on everything. It's
yeah, I
just,
mean, I don't know what the holdup would be if we own title, but maybe there's a butters issues. Okay,
It's yeah. The whole
Okay.
thing's
just
fine,
like
fine.
words from long time ago that are.
okay, we'll get the guidance from Christine.
Yeah.
Anything else on that?
No, and the only other thing, we have had some interest in, on the other properties. We've got two folks interested in the one in Kearsarge. We've got one on the one on Wildwood. And we've got till August 15th, just a couple more days before that's up, and then we'll sell the ones that that people want them.
Okay.
Yep.
And then in our town meeting in March, we'll vote where to put that money, correct? I mean, if,
Well, it'll go into as unanticipated funds, and yeah.
okay, great.
How'd
Okay.
you,
Did you
how'd you turn out on the one on Car Road? I know that's, how, did that guy clean that up?
on Car Road?
That's the trailer property.
Yeah, I know. He did actually come up and clean it up. And we have about $115,000 judgment against him now.
Yeah.
We have a lien on his property. And there's actually him and his girlfriend bought another piece of property down in southern New Hampshire, and we have a lien on that. So we're still working through the process on that. But this is a good thing. It's a pain in the neck, you got to take action against somebody like that and get a judgment like that. But what it does is send a strong message when we start telling people that, hey, here's the ordinances. You really got to live within these ordinances. And I think this gives us a little bit more to go on when we get into those types of situations. And it's cost us about $8,000 in legal fees, and we're certainly looking to get those back. And we will, at a minimum, get those back from before this is all said and done.
Has he given you any input back about paying that off? And then, because I remember you guys said that if he paid the legal fees, you wouldn't take the property or something like that.
We never had that discussion.
There was a few meetings back that it was said back in the minutes that if you said, I believe you said it yourself, which I don't care, that if
Before we got the judgment, that was always the case.
as long as he takes care of the legal fees, he'll get it back.
As long as he cleaned it up and took care of the legal fees. Yeah, that was always the thing before before we got the judgment. That was always our
I just wondered if
position.
that was still standing, so.
In other words, that you're not asking for the actual fines and this, that, and the other, that if he cleaned it up and he paid the legal
Okay,
fees. it was-
all right, the bottom line is we have a judgment against him for 120, it's 115, I'm not sure the exact number. We've got a judgment against him, and that is our leverage. So,
Okay. Update on accepting credit card at the snack bar in the office. Eric.
I emailed over to you guys at one point a handheld concept for about $60. That would help with the snack bar. But looking at the cash register, I think, if we just hold off this year and try to upgrade the whole system by next year, that cash register is ancient. It's hard to fix errors on at this point. I think a total upgrade by next year would be good. So I just advise that we just at least either look into it or just go ahead and upgrade by next year. And maybe get the credit cards going by next year as well.
well, I think we need to we need some kind of a spreadsheet with this.
Okay.
To go, because I know we throw out different numbers and stuff, and
Yeah.
but we really need to develop a spreadsheet, because the typical cost for a credit card purchase is a 2.5% to 3% range.
Yeah.
And we don't make a hell of a lot of money now, so we don't want to be giving any more up. So I think we've got to really look at the whole picture
Yeah.
and say, here's what the actual cost, here's what the cash register is going to cost, and it's going to have the capability to use credit cards with it, and what are the credit card company costs, and just break it down. And then you say, okay, fine, if we did X amount of dollars in the snack bar, what would it bring to us? Or can you, I know for a while they weren't allowing you to add extra fees to it, but now
Yeah,
it's-
like when I go to Hatchlands, for example, if I pay by cash, it's one price. If I pay by card, it's 3% higher.
you know.
And I, for the convenience of the card.
Yeah, this is something that we've been throwing numbers around, but we really need to get a spreadsheet to take a look
All
at
right.
this. And that's something that should come up at budget season. I don't think
Yeah.
we need to,
Sure. Yeah, we can,
that this year to get credit cards in for the next couple of weeks. That's
Yeah.
not a,
I'll get the information out for budget.
Okay, super.
and I think a lot of things that Susan does, I think it might even be easier if people come in and paid with a credit card
Oh, yeah.
instead of a check or cash or
Yeah.
things like that. So, and there's a lot of things we can do that with planning and with water bills, with,
Yep.
different fees and stuff, so. But we really need to get a good,
All right, I'll get us a spreadsheet by next meeting and we can give it to the budget
Okay.
people whenever.
As long as the Sage can handle it, right? Update on Trail Maintenance Committee?
There's no real update yet, just that we were eyeing, September 22nd. I can't remember if that's a Saturday or Sunday right now. It's a Sunday. So we will put something out,
That's a date when you plan to do something.
we're just gonna meet up at that point.
Okay.
That'll be the first meeting of it. So we'll put out, some information to get people to volunteer.
so you're gonna have
We're gonna clean up the hiking trails.
I know that, but you're gonna have a meeting to discuss cleaning up the
No,
trails?
there's no meeting. It will be
That's
show
what-
up that day. So we'll just invite people
It's
to show
cleanup
up
day.
that day. It's
Okay.
cleanup day.
Okay.
And we were gonna do it biannually, September, April, something like that.
Are we supplying equipment or they have to bring their own
Just
equipment? to do
bring
cleanup?
your own equipment and
Okay.
help out, and we'll just convene in front of the lodge and get on the trails and just make sure everything's clear.
Okay, again, with something like that, a nice detailed list so we can get it out.
Yeah, yeah,
Put it on
yeah.
Facebook, put it on,
Mhm. Yeah,
put it
we'll
on the
get
district
the,
site, put it on get it out in the email.
Piece of information for you is, there are people down there almost daily, walking on trails, working on the mountain, doing various things that are going on. So you might get over there and find that thing's, pretty cleaned up already.
They talk about the other trails, Randy,
uh,
the other ones, the smaller trails that go around in the back of the lodge, and they run all the way over to Valley Road.
Heard voices in there and people cutting and chopping and cleaning, so all I'm saying is.
Yeah.
Just a piece of information that they are working over there and.
Most of the work, Randy, is being done up on the hill, and the only one that, Anthony Hayden was down with small path that's going from where the lodge is there, just before you go into the ski area, and there was a huge tree that fell down there. He cut that thing up and cleared a little bit of that trail out, but the rest of the trails, from what I've seen, I haven't seen any work being done on them.
The voices were very close, and they were all fine, it's everybody.
Okay.
Respectful. I think they're doing some work on those, but
Well, we'll find out September 22nd when you do the walkthrough. Yeah, thanks, Randy. Anything else? Anybody on Zoom? Thanks, Eric. So update on beach sticker passes and key cards for the pool. I relinquished my responsibility doing passes last week, gave it to Susan. You did 5 this week?
Last week.
Okay, last week, okay. We finally got the system working. It does what it's supposed to do. We have about 65 cards that haven't been used, so there's still plenty of room in the growth pattern that we can that we can have more cards out there. And beach sticker passes, I think I think we're pretty, there's no problems that are cropped up there that I've heard of.
No, it's been going well.
Okay, super. So that's going on well. It should obviously be tapering off the next couple of weeks as, as the weather gets closer to school. Okay, but that's pretty much it. And we'll just keep monitoring. One thing I did talk to John about, we may have to put a hydraulic closer on the door over there, the gate to the pool, because every time that thing clams, it's like this. He's afraid to start loosening up the pourings on the foundation for the gate. So I think it's a good idea to put a hydraulic closer on that instead of the bungee cords and springs. So he'll look into that and get us some numbers on that, and we'll upgrade that maybe this fall, early next spring, if we decide to do it. Okay?
Is there any shut down for that, Mark? Do you have to do anything to winterize that thing? Or
Well, that'd be his normal, not the system itself, it's weather tight. It's,
PC board?
no, it's all,
Moving parts?
no, it's all, we've been told by our people, it's all, people put it in. It's entirely weatherproofed and it's all electronic connection, so there's no moving parts to speak of except the gate mechanism itself, which is oil on maintenance. So then John will give us some numbers on that, and we'll get maybe a gate closer up. Okay, Montauk Revitalization Committee update. Eric?
I met with Richard Moulton, the other landowner. I've got his signed agreement with us to allow the bikers on his land for that day, so we're in the clear with that. He'll be added to the ESC insurance as well. Traffic flow.
That's Eastern States Cup Insurance. not ours.
Sorry, yes. Yep. Traffic flow map was created and distributed to the committee so that we could comment and, plan ahead for how we're gonna flow in and out traffic on that weekend. So we have an idea of how to patrol, the incoming traffic. We've created a volunteer list and kind of separated, duties at this point and just gonna try to start filling in slots for all sorts of duties on that weekend. So the trails are now, they're looking in great shape. I've gone up a few of them, just hiking up them, just to look at them. The work that, just clearing up the blowdown and just making sure that they're, ready for a real event. They're looking great. There's been some test riders that have, shown up and ridden and had 10 out of 10 reviews kind of thing. Another thing that we talked about at the last meeting was designating a parking sign somewhere to ensure that anyone that wants, if the cat's out of the bag with information that there's bike trails on this mountain, if they show up and there's a lodge rental, we don't want to have any conflict. So the idea was just to direct people with anyone that wanted to use the recreation of the mountain for the bikes, go park in a certain area. So we're working towards that. That was a conversation we started to establish the other week.
David's got those signs, right? And he's gonna,
Yeah, Dave was on ordering those signs, and then we were gonna kind of plan out where to put them. And
we're gonna put them,
on the backside, I can't remember right now.
we'll put them in the front side
Oh, yeah,
in the,
in front of the trees.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't remember where we were doing that.
There was talk about putting them back in the,
On
where the old barn was.
Yeah, on the
there.
pad, but it might be too muddy right now.
It's a mess back there.
If maybe I think it's a good idea to look at that spot in the future if we could ever retouch it up, but right now it's not in good shape.
Yeah. Touch it up, you'd have to build it up quite.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking was, more dirt. Yeah, that's all I have for since the last meeting.
That's October 5th and 6th is the date of the
Yes.
event. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, any questions? Any questions from Zoom?
Okay.
Okay, any new business you need to talk about in here, anyone?
I'm good.
Bill, you have a question?
No, what I'd like to be able to give you is, can I give you an incident report?
Sure.
Okay. It was not the first time, second time, the third time. I took a picture of a dog on the lake yesterday, 5:30 at night, and no collar, whatever, no ID. And he was peeing in the lake, going all around and everything, so.
Okay.
I'm just turning it in for you, so you'll know.
Thank you.
Date,
I know what that is.
okay, was there a person with a car, or was they walk down there?
The dog walked.
Dog by
Oh, the
himself.
dog by himself?
He lives up the hill
No idea
there.
where the dog came from.
Yeah.
Okay, super. Thanks, Bill.
Is there any plan to put any more beach this year?
We did it once already or twice?
Yeah, they've been doing the service on the ants, and that's scheduled through the end of the year. And I'm pretty sure that they have one more. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty sure it is one more treatment that they've got on that. And as far as killing, that's not going to happen again this year.
Okay. Anybody else? Anything else? Yes.
I heard the O word mentioned a few times at this meeting, ordinances.
Okay.
Are they located on the Mountain Lakes website?
Yes.
Yes.
They're under building
They're there.
info, they're there.
Oh, all right.
And they've been updated, I think, as recently as last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's usually a lot of chatter on that Facebook page for the people,
Mhm.
Mountain Lakes thing. And
We don't recognize that, so.
yeah, I know you don't recognize it, and that's fine. I don't really recognize it either, but there's usually a lot of chatter out there about things that people don't know about, and if they just go to the ordinance,
It's all there.
Yeah.
they'd understand what the rules and regulations are, right?
Yep. You would hope.
Okay, they're there. That's all I want.
Well, thank you. Okay,
Thank
no other input from anyone out there? I will call the meeting,
After you right now.
I'm sorry? I'm going to call the meeting at 7:16. Move to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Thank you very much, folks. See you next month.
All right, thank you, folks on Zoom. We're going to close up the Zoom portion of this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See you on Wednesday, hopefully, at the lodge.
Thanks, sir. I know. Thank you.
Thanks for coming by. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Appreciate your input.
I want that. I want it. I do.
Just outbound and, it's like this constant.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Now, I made a suggestion about the stuff that you just have to do.